70 plus men waiting for their call for the final race of 2007. And there they go, Big Matt Reed. You can see him right there closest to us, the 6'6" from the United States, head down. A great cyclist, and he'll love this course because there is a very large hill they have to do 7 times. Look how close the men are bunched together at the far end of the swim, about 370 plus meters from shore. You can see the hotels in the backdrop. And it'll be Marco Albert pushing the pace here very early on, the man from Estonia who missed a good portion of 2007 because of injuries, back and showing some great form. Marco Albert right there, out of the water, back in for the second lap, and you have to believe that men like Eilat will be very close, and there he is. Didier Brocard also into that bunch as he comes through. Lushenko from the Ukraine into that lead group as they come through. Joe Umpenhauer, Timothy O'Donnell, very tightly bunched as the men come through, all within 10 or 15 seconds. Matt Reed just through there as well. Look at the very distinct swim form of Marco Albert as he's got Eilat on his feet. And if we can get a group of 4 or 5 of those men out of the water together, that could be a very, very dangerous quad, or 5 men heading out onto the bike course. They'll be back to shore just about 18 minutes, and Albert will be first out of the water, but a long run. Eilat into that bunch, Tayama, Bakel. The Russians very well established. There's Bukhankov coming out of the water as well. Joe Umpenhauer, Matt Reed just coming through. Vashiliev also into that bunch. You can see now back into the transition zone, almost 400 meters. So a long run from the end of the water to the bike, and some of the great runners having a chance to catch back up. Bukhankov just coming into our screen right there. And they're heading out now for the start of their 7 laps, 40 kilometers. The wind into the face of the men through the early stages of this bike, so if they can get into that lead pack, it certainly can be a benefit. And Eilat out there trying to motivate those men to start working, and there's a guy who loves to work. Bukhankov, Bakel into the lead group right now. It's flat for the early stages, and then they make a right-hand turn and start that 700-meter climb. Timothy O'Donnell from the United States and Axel Ziebrich right there trying to make a bit of a break off the front end of this pack. You can see our main chase group up and out of the saddle right there as they're making their way through. Joe Umpenhauer, Timothy O'Donnell, Matt Reed. And at the top of the hill, they'll do a 180-degree turn and come straight back down. Expect speeds of about 75 kilometers an hour coming down. And some of the boys really working hard right now, trying to break away from the chase pack as Peter Kroes to the right side. He sees the leaders coming back down the hill on the left. And the man from Belgium right now trying to make a breakaway, Dan and Ren Alderman, the twin brothers who have been superstars here this week, certainly have had a lot of extra media attention because of the fact they are from Israel, and last year they were first and second on this course. And we're taking a look right now into the transition zone as the men are starting to make their way back. And look at that, Dirk Bakel and Stefan Eilat, I think, had words as they also exchanged shoulders coming through at the end of the bike frame, and the crowd have been entertained here one more time by some of the toughest men in the sport. The chase group coming through, almost 2 minutes down, and they are going to have to try to make up some time. Some great runners in that chase pack, including a couple of the top French athletes. There's Lushenko right there as we start to make our way towards the front end of this group. And you can see that hill is starting to take its toll on these athletes up and out of the seat. Peter Kroes in that chase group, 2 of the Frenchmen in there as well, Cedric Fleurton, Tony Moulay, and they're trying to make their way up. Sean Bechtel just coming through from Canada. We've got about 18 or 20 men into that chase pack. They're 2 minutes down, however, and here come the leaders. Right now, Tayama leading into this bunch, getting ready to head out onto the start of the 3-lap, 10-kilometer run. Matt Reed to the right side. To the left is Bukhankov, and we have 20-plus men coming off the bike. And Tayama first out of the transition zone. And right away, Stefan Eilat trying to go after him. Timothy O'Donnell coming into the screen right there. Marco Albert also just getting ready to head off. Bukhankov in the blue and white. Behind him, Matt Reed. Freeman just the inside of the screen right there. And they all are trying to track down Tayama, who you can see him just to the front on the top of the screen. And the young man who has really never had an outstanding top 5 or 6 performance, I think 7th his best ever in Ishigaki a few years ago, right now finds himself actually leading the final race of the 2007 World Cup season. It's a 180-degree turn, and already Tayama has opened up a gap of about 30 meters back to Brkankov, there's Vladimir Polikarpenko, Freeman coming through, Matt Reed, Glashenko just coming through right there as well, Marquez from Portugal, the young man from South Africa, Henrik just coming through, and you can see very tightly bunched athletes 7 through 10. But as we go through the middle stages of this 10-kilometer run, Tayama is absolutely tearing this run apart. This man right now on under 31-minute 10K pace. Vladimir Polikarpenko trying desperately to bring him back. He's been on the podium over 20 times in his career. A very, very sage veteran, and he's pulling away from the young man from Russia, Brkankov, as they're coming to the later stages of this 10-kilometer run. Polikarpenko looking over his shoulder, but it is going to be time for Japan to celebrate. Not only did they get a woman on the podium today, they're going to have their first ever World Cup victory. Tayama from Japan will claim his country's first ever gold medal in a World Cup triathlon, and look at the elation on this man. 1 hour 49:46. He's absolutely over the top, a sub 31-minute 10K, and the crowd is showing their appreciation. We don't see second place at all, and he's going to show us his little victory dance. Awesome job right there as Tayama takes victory. Vladimir Polikarpenko will be the silver medalist on the day. Here comes Brkankov for his third podium of 2007, and there are 3 men who are happy to end 2007.
Thank you very much. I'm really satisfied because it's the last race for 2007, and I'm really happy because during this season I make not so a lot podiums, and in the beginning of this season I was in a good performance, and also in the last part of the season I'm in good performance. Yes.
Well, it has been a very long season of racing, and the last 3 medals of 2007 being handed out here in Eilat. And a man who proudly and difficultly gets up on top of the #1 podium. Tayama takes Japan's first and only ever gold medal in a World Cup triathlon. Vladimir Polikarpenko, he's well into the 20s of podiums.
This is the first time that a Japanese man has ever been
of 2007.